Right guys, so today is all about the new Golden Mile. I'm going to drive you guys through what the new Golden Mile of Estepona is all about. We're going to get into the Costa Explorer, our beautiful high homes car. We're going to be driving to the petrol station of Benavis, and then we're going to show you guys all the new Golden Mile. From here, we'll put a pinpoint of where we are right now so you guys can follow along if you're in the area and you want to discover it. So let me tell you guys what we're going to be doing. We're going to be sort of driving through all the suburbs of the new Golden Mile, starting with El Paraíso, Atalaya, El Paraíso. Then we're going to go all the way through to Cancelada. We're going to see Bel Air. We're going to see Villa Padierna. Then after that, we're going to go over to Selwo and drive all the way to Estepona and show you guys what suburban life is like. And during this entire drive, I'm going to be narrating, well, what I know as a local, things that you guys might need to keep an eye on, things that you guys might want to know about these locations. So, come on in, let's go. So, back onto the road. We're going to drive you guys through Atalaya first. We're going to show you guys what Atalaya looks like. Then we'll drive through La Alquería, all the way through to El Paraíso. And we're gonna, instead of taking the A7, so normally if I wanted to, and I wanted to drive to Estepona directly and show you guys the whole Golden Mile, I could pretty much show that to you guys in like 10 minutes. It'd take you 10 minutes from here to the beginning of Estepona center, and that's what we call the new Golden Mile. But we're gonna be driving through all the little suburbs, okay? And so you guys can sort of have a feel of what it all looks like. This is the road to Benavis. So everything you guys see there in the distance is the Benavis sort of entrance, the village, and it's sort of intertwined. Here on the left is Monte Biarritz. Monte Biarritz is a lovely suburban location full of sort of, you know, low density housing, and it's connected onto Atalaya. Okay, so this road takes us up to Atalaya. We're going to be driving to the roundabout and then taking a left. So let's get there and I'll tell you a bit more about it. Coming up here on the way up to Atalaya, you have the sign for Atalaya Golf and Country Club. Now, I'm not a golfer, but they speak very nice about this sort of golf course. There's many golf courses around. You've got Atalaya, you've got the Paraíso. A bit further up, you have Los Flamingos and a lot more. So, you know, if you are a golfer, this location is actually quite nice. And sort of pro tip for you guys, this road always has there's always police hiding and doing sort of speed what do you call it, speed checks. So make sure that you always stick to 60. So here to the left, this exit is the exit that you take if you want to go down to El Atalaya, also towards El Paraíso. But I'm going to take you guys first to the roundabout where the Atalaya roundabout is, and that's the connection you would have to Benavis, all right? So what do you need to know about Atalaya? Well, Atalaya was a super popular location in the year 2000s. There was a lot of construction going on between 2000 and 2007, just before the sort of 2008 crash. And most of it was built at that time. Since 2013, there's been a lot of development in the area with Mercadona opening up. That's the supermarket, which is a very good sort of Spanish supermarket. And you've also got the Atalaya school, which is an international school, which a lot of people that live in San Pedro use. Okay, that's what you guys see here on the left. All right, so first of all, here on the left, you have Atalaya, the development done by TM. And then here to the left is the Mercadona and the school, all right? All right, guys, so this here, we're arriving at the Benavis roundabout. So as I explained earlier, Benavis is intertwined with Estepona. So once you get to this roundabout, if you wanted to drive upwards, you would drive up to Benavis. And just sort of FYI, for those people that haven't been to Benavis, we did a really cool area guide, which we'll link above, so you get a sort of a feel of what Benavis is all about. But today, we're talking about the new Golden Mile, and this is basically Atalaya. Mercadona is to the left, and this is what Atalaya is all about. It's a suburban destination, so if you think, and if you want to know what suburban lifestyle looks like in new Golden Mile, well, this is the first suburban destination, Atalaya. You have a mix of apartments, a mix of villas, and a bit of everything. These buildings in front of us were built like in the years 2000 and, you know, 6-ish, 2007-ish, and most of what's in the area was built then. Atalaya is connected just through this back road I'm driving you guys down to an area called La Alquería. And La Alquería is sort of very high-end villas that surround the Atalaya golf course. So this is what La Alquería looks like. La Alquería is connected to Atalaya, and it's the sort of area of high-end villas. You can see everything around us here are superb, contemporary, modern houses everywhere you look. And the reason for that is, back in the sort of 2008 crash, before the 2008 crash, many villas were constructed here, which were more classic and traditional. And then since 2013 onwards, plot sales sort of soared, and people bought up practically everything that was for sale. And you've got like loads of contemporary villas. So I'd say from all of Costa del Sol, the highest one of the suburbs or one of the residential areas with the highest concentration of contemporary villas would be La Alquería, all right? And obviously you have some of these houses which have amazing golf views, which are frontline to the Atalaya golf course, and then a lot of them which are not frontline golf, all right? Here is the security car. You can see there where it says Coffer Security, and this is the entrance to La Alquería, all right? Here we go. La Alquería officially belongs to Benavis, but colloquially, locally, we call it the new Golden Mile. And we're going to turn around here, but that just gives you an idea of what La Alquería is all about, right? These beautiful streets full of lovely contemporary houses. Now we're going to be driving through the golf course of Atalaya, through the sort of range, and we're going to be showing you what the area of Lower Atalaya, Diana Park, and El Paraíso looks like. So here we go. We're taking a right. Let me just make sure that our camera is still rolling. It is, so you guys keep an eye on what the streets look like. This is a lovely development that was built a few years ago. Here we go. So wherever you guys are, I mean, if you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in South America, and you wanted to really understand what a residential area of Costa del Sol looks like, this is a perfect example, a golf location with lovely contemporary apartments to the right, and then some lovely villas on the left. And actually this little road connects us through the golf, which is really, really cool. So we just asked a golfer, because many years ago, last time I drove through this part, you were able to drive through it. So we're gonna have to drive around it. But good moment to show you guys what the Atalaya golf course looks like. So actually, while we're gonna speed ramp this sort of drive back to the petrol station, so you guys don't have to see what you've already seen. But a perfect moment to send a question your way. Not sure if you're new to our High Homes channel. If you are, well, welcome. Let me give you a bit of introduction to who we are and what we do. We have been working on our High Homes YouTube channel for 5 years now, and practically do all content regarding Spanish real estate, Spanish property news, Costa del Sol lifestyle, Costa del Sol area guides, real estate, podcast in any way. So we do a bit of everything. So if you are new to this space and you just come across us, not sure why you're watching this video, if you just want to discover because you might be coming on vacation or you might be interested in buying, feel free to press the button, subscribe to the High Homes YouTube channel, and we every week bring out some really useful content. Right, so we're going to speed round this drive back to the petrol station, and we're going to take you guys from the petrol station through to Diana Park, and then we're going to take you guys through to the lower part of Atalaya and so on. So let's just speed ramp it. Okay guys, so back through the area of Atalaya. On the right, a very famous development called Ben Atalaya, which was built, previous 2008. So that was sort of the older buildings, and these are the newer buildings. And it's a busy moment at the moment. A lot of cars, because there's obviously a school that's just down the road. You've got Mercadona. But I remember like 10 years ago, there was literally nothing here. It was a quiet sort of suburban destination, and now it's full of residential life. Okay, so plan. We are driving down the Atalaya road, and we're gonna connect and drive through the Atalaya golf course through the lower part and show you guys one of the newer suburban parts of Atalaya where there's some really nice new construction, and then we're gonna sort of continue driving direction Estepona. So you guys, maybe you're asking yourself, if you live in such a destination, what about sort of commercial? Normally all the commercial space or commercial shops and restaurants, bars, supermarkets are generally located down close to the A7. And that's how the coast is, you know, sort of arranged. I'm talking generally, especially in the new Golden Mile. If you live in Atalaya, you normally need to drive 3-4 minutes with the car to get to your local, you know, shop. So welcome to the roundabout of Cataleya, and this is sort of a connector roundabout. If we take a left this way, we can drive down to El Campanario and then through to Diana Park. If we take a right up there, that's how we drive to sort of the area of El Paraíso. Let me show you guys what Cataleya is all about. If you think about a contemporary destination of contemporary apartments, you know, if you want to live in a suburb with nice contemporary apartments, check this out. This is beautiful. I'm trying to show, actually show you this way. These are all the apartments that were built by Erasur around, I think, 6-7 years ago now. They're just beautiful. And there's a lot of development happening around here. So this is more of the newer side of Atalaya. This entire area is called Cataleya. There you go, Cataleya. Everything here on the right is a development that's just under construction right now called Naya Residences, a super boutique development which is very, very nice by a local developer. Here on the left we have Serena Atalaya, a very popular development of townhouses, and then you'll just see that this entire area is under extreme sort of development at the moment. A good moment to talk about Spanish development. People come to Spain and at this moment, you know, we're filming this video in 2025, end of 25, November, and people will say to us, well, there's so many construction cranes and there's so much, you know, work going along, like it's crazy, you know? And what we always say is, you know, actually it's not enough for the amount of demand, the amount of properties we need. Something that's a bit different with Spain and other parts of Europe or other parts of the world is that after the 2008 financial crisis, Spanish construction literally stopped. Especially on the Costa del Sol, it just stopped. So all the way from 2008 through to 2016, there was zero construction. And we're sort of catching up. If you add onto that equation, you know, the increment of population size in Spain and the amount of property demand that exists, it's sort of a perfect storm. But yeah, so the amount of cranes that are currently out and about, there's just not enough for the amount of demand that we have. All right, so enough of my narration. We are arriving to El Campanario. It's that connector between Atalaya and Diana Park. So what's in El Campanario? It's a very small golf course. It's very, very small, tiny. And around the golf course, you have different developments of houses, villas, and apartments. You've got a small little clubhouse with a small little bar and small amenities, and you can actually walk to this, all right? And in terms of connection to the A7, you're 3 minutes to the A7 connector, and then very close to Marbella, and around 8-9 minutes to Estepona. Here you go. It's one of my favorite little suburbs, you know? It's very authentic, it's very boutique. You got some very nice villa developments like you can see here, called Bel Air, El Campanario Villas. So really nice properties. And you can see really well kept. Here on the left is a development under construction called Lira Residences. Here you've got El Campanario Hills, really nice contemporary apartments with private pools. It just gives you a bit of a flavor of what this area is all about. So if you did live here, you would need your car to drive, you know, maybe to your supermarket. But if you wanted to walk down and have a quick coffee, you'd have the clubhouse. Here on the left are Bel Air villas, and this is a good example of the mix of, you know, construction years. All these properties here on the right were built, you know, maybe 20 years ago, and all these villas to the left were built very recently, and it's a bit of a mismatch of different construction times. You know, it's also important to sort of note that it's a very busy residential area. It's not like a ghost town. And we're in November, you know, people want to know like what the coast looks like in the off season, and you know, it's summer, everything gets very busy on the coast, but in November, in these areas, there's always life, and I think that's important, right? Especially for those which are looking to move over, you know, relocate to Costa del Sol. Right, I'm gonna take a left here and show you guys from the outside what El Campanario looks like. So you got some really nice houses, you see that? So here's a villa for sale, front line to the Gulf. We can see what the El Campanario looks like. We've got the Gulf to the left, Gulf to the right. We're on the bridge right now. And that's a Campanario. So just to recap, we've drove all the way from the roundabout all the way up to Atalaya, La Alquería. We've drove through Atalaya, through to Cataleya, the nice contemporary apartment area, And now we've driven into El Campanario. El Campanario is the connection to Diana Park, and that's where we're going to take you guys next. We've got some really nice rental properties here, which we have for rent on highhomes.es/rent. If you go to highhomes.es and search rent, there's a lovely little apartment we have for rent here, and some nice properties we have for sale. This is the clubhouse to the right. We've arrived at Diana Park, and Diana Park is a commercial center and an area which combines commercial center and residential on the A7. I'm going to drive you guys, I'm in the back of it now, I'm going to drive you guys through the front of it, and you're going to recognize it when you're in town. It's a landmark, not really a landmark because it's beautiful, but it's a very known area on the new Golden Mile. When you're driving on the A7, you'll recognize it very easily. We're on the back part right now, and I'm going to take you guys through the front part. All right.
Smell a lovely Indian restaurant somewhere.
That smells really. That's
wow.
mini India right there. It smells amazing. So I'm gonna take a right back to the sort of first line of the A7. But if I wanted to, I could take a left and connect back to Atalaya and the petrol station roundabout. So the petrol station roundabout needs to be your landmark. Okay, that's like the start and where everything's connected. So the roundabout needs to be like your reference point. And this road is the A7, and this A7 is the sort of quick one-line connector from the beginning of the new Golden Mile to Estepona. Here on the right is the commercial center I was talking about, and now we're going to be leaving Diana Park and showing you guys the area of El Paraíso. And by the way, if you didn't want to take the A7 and wanted to connect to El Paraíso through the back roads, you could totally do that. That's 100% possible, and actually could be easier. Sometimes there's traffic on this road depending on where you're going to go and how you're going. Okay, so on the roadside here we have El Presidente. It's a lovely beachside location of the Golden Mile. One of the most, let's say, you've got a few popular destinations when it comes to like beach destinations in the Golden Mile. You have El Presidente, you have El Padrón, you have Costalita, you have the area where El Mare is, and sort of Selwo, that area of Tiquitano. We're taking the exit right now of El Pilar. You have Urbanización El Pilar, which connects to El Paraíso. I'm going to take this next exit to show you what suburban El Paraíso looks like. El Paraíso. El Paraíso is a suburban golf destination. At the front side, you have these commercial areas. So this is the commercial area of Paraíso. We're going to drive behind it and connect to the residential part, where you'll find the golf courses and you'll find that low density suburban residential feel. So here you've got a very nice sort of sport facility with tennis court, paddle courts, a bit of everything. Here's the International School of Estepona. There's a few really good schools on the New Golden Mile, with one of the most recent schools that have opened called, the Atlas American School in Selwo. Very good school, but you got, very close to the New Golden Mile. Very close to the Golden Mile, you have the Laude School in San Pedro. You're really spoiled for choices. Right, let's talk about who lives in the areas of Paraíso, Atalaya, and New Golden Mile. First of all, we're going to be surrounding El Paraíso golf course and then driving through to Cancelada and Bel Air. But perfect moment to tell you guys about who lives here. Who lives in these pretty little townhouses that you're looking at? These Andalusian houses, the modern contemporary properties. Who lives here? Well, the rule in Costa del Sol, and this is sort of very general, but it applies sort of similarly to the New Golden Mile. We have sort of a 33 rule. 33% of the people live all year round. 33% of the people use their places as a holiday home, and then 33% of the people use it for longer stays, maybe 6-8 months. The typical sort of winter birds that come from Scandinavia, Norwegian, Swedish, that use their properties in the winter months and then avoid the summer at all costs, because obviously winters in Norway and Sweden and Denmark, these beautiful countries, are amazing. Okay, but that's sort of generally speaking. The closer you get to the urban areas, it sort of changes. You know, if you look at Estepona Center, you have a super high amount of residential areas. People live all year round, compared to areas like these where you have a mix of residents, people that don't live here all year round. Okay, this is the beautiful scene of El Paraíso, a lovely little golf course, and we're going to be surrounding it. Okay, this mini roundabout is the connector between Atalaya, El Paraíso, all the way through. Okay, so we're now in the area of El Paraíso, and we're still surrounding El Paraíso. Here on the right, we have Mirador del Paraíso, which is a lovely little gated complex of apartments and houses. And this is what we call El Paraíso Alto. You can actually see that right there, El Paraíso Alto. And from this moment onwards, 90% of what's around are detached villas, and the maximum level they can build here for villas is 2 floors. So you got maybe basement, ground floor, and then the first floor. The basement doesn't count, so it's only ground floor plus 1. That's what we refer to as 2 floors. Then there are a few apartment complexes. A very famous apartment complex is Paraíso Pueblo. It's sold out now, and there's actually a future phase coming, but it's a beautiful development of apartments that are very Andalusian and very authentic. It was finished a few years ago and sold out, and there's a new phase coming out. It's a beautiful little development just up the road. We can't see it from here. It's the moment to talk about healthcare. So if you live on the new Golden Mile, let's talk about, you know, hospitals and clinics. The first thing you need to know is that clinics are scattered around. You've got small little health clinics scattered around different locations of the new Golden Mile. But what about, you know, sort of big hospitals? You've got the private Hospiten, which is located in Selwo. I'm going to be driving by that a bit later. And that's the biggest private hospital. Then the biggest public hospital is on the west part of Estepona, the new Hospital de Alta Resolución of Estepona. And if you need something a lot more, if you've got a condition which is a lot more serious, you need to be sort of intervened with emergency, then you've got the Hospital Costa del Sol, which is the regional hospital that does the entire province of Malaga. We're nearly there. We're about to connect from El Paraíso to the back of Bel Air. And Bel Air is wonderful. It's a lovely little suburban residential area. We've recently done a video on Cancelada, Bel Air, and Los Flamingos, where we do the exact thing we're doing now, which, you know, it obviously is driving through it. And we're going to link that video up here so you guys can check it out. We did that a few months ago, and it's a really nice drive through where we do exactly the same thing we're doing here, and it's quite useful, so you can actually get a full picture of the new Golden Mile. We're just going to drive through it so you guys get a rough idea of what it's all about. But if you want to in-depth on Los Flamingos, Bel Air, and Cancelada, I really recommend you check out the video, because we go into a lot of depth, and that sort of will complete your overview of the new Golden Mile. Today we're trying to make a straight line from the beginning of the new Golden Mile all the way through to the end of the new Golden Mile, which is the beginning of Estepona. Right, guys, we have exited El Paraíso. Welcome to Bel Air. This is the back of Bel Air where the tennis club is. A very nice area. It's a bit older than El Paraíso. It's more townhouses and a bit less low density, so it's a bit higher in density compared to El Paraíso. That's the main difference. I'm going to drive you guys all the way down to the Mercadona, the commercial area of Bel Air, so you guys can have an idea of what it looks like. We're going to connect through to Cancelada and then go back onto the road and go to Selwo. Just as a reminder, if you do want to check out the Cancelada, Los Flamingos, and Bel Air, we'll link that above here and also below in the description of this video. Here we are. So we're driving down to the bottom of Bel Air where the Mercadona is. We need to do an episode on rating all the different Spanish supermarkets. Okay, so this is Mercadona on the left hand side, and this is the commercial area on the road. And from here we're going to go back onto the A7 and drive to Selwo. What you guys need to know about Bel Air is that Bel Air is still got a lot of room to grow. There's so many plots for villas which are still going to be built on in the next 10 years, so there's still a lot of room for growth. In the last few years, there's been a lot of development growth of apartments. As you can see here on the right hand side, you have Oceana Gardens, the new commercial center of Bobem, and so much more. Especially behind Cancelada in the north side of the city, there's an area called Santa Vista. And Santa Vista has been a area that's undergone a lot of development in the last 5-6 years, with over 7 developments of apartments being built. And it's been very popular among foreign investors, locals as well, and a bit of everything. This is the roundabout that you need to drive. You need to drive up that road in order to go to Los Flamingos, and you need to drive down that road to check out Cancelada. Something about Spanish roads, while I'm taking this exit of Cancelada onto the A7, is that there's no acceleration lane. So you see, you have to stop and go. That's something that a lot of people, keep on talking about when they come to Spain. Is like, where's the acceleration lane? Well, the A7 was the road that was here for years and years and years before, the coast grew. So there hasn't been the space to install acceleration lanes, which means that you need to stop and start and go immediately. There's no accelerating into the road, and that's something you need to get used to when you come to Costa del Sol. Everything here on the right hand side is Cancelada. And then here on the right hand side you have a huge valley, and that valley is a natural valley full of agricultural land that separates Cancelada from Selwo. Another spectacular location, which you really guys need to check out when you're in the area of the new Golden Mile, is the area of Tikitano. Tikitano is the beachside location over on the left, and just beside Tikitano you have the Icos Hotel, which is a 5-star all-inclusive Greek hotel chain. It's actually from Greece, and it's an amazing place, and that's it right there. So we're about to take the Selwo exit. We're going to drive you all the way through Selwo so you can get a good idea of what the residential area looks like, and then we're going to drive you all the way to the beginning of Estepona, and that's going to conclude our new Golden Mile. But before we finish, we're going to finish in a very unique location. So we're going to turn around at the beginning of Estepona, and we're going to show you guys the beach side of Tikitano, and that's where we're going to close this video. So I think this is going to give you a perfect overview of what it's all about, the feel, the variety, because I think the big thing here is the variety. Depending where you choose to live or come on vacation, the feel is totally different. Living in Selwo, living in Cancelada, it's a different feel, and it's nice that you have that variety. You don't need to go for one or the other. You can choose. Are you someone that wants to live in a suburban location close to amenities? Atalaya could be perfect. The Paraíso could be perfect. You want something which is a bit more quiet, yet quick access to a village. The Santa Vista area of Cancelada is fantastic. It's really something for everyone, and that's quite nice. But obviously, if you want to be walking distance to the center, you need to be in Estepona, or you need to be in the center of town, I suppose. Welcome to Selwo. This is the roundabout. I've got 2 options here. I take a right and I go under the road and go back on myself direction Marbella, or I drive up. And this is the main avenue. This is the main connector. Everyone that lives in Selwo takes this drive up. First up, on the right hand side, we have a really nice commercial area with one of my favorite cafes. It's called Bossa Cafe, and I think everyone in Selwo is grateful to this business owner because he's brought this incredible concept to town. The food's amazing, the coffee is amazing, the ambience is lovely, and there it is on the right hand side. That is Bossa Cafe. Right in front of us right here is the Orthodox Church, which was inaugurated around, I think it was 11-12 years ago. And taking a right here, we're driving down to the new paddle club center and the new sort of racket club. We're going to be driving all the way up to La Resina Golf, which is a part of Selwo. However, what we didn't show you guys is that at that roundabout, if I would have kept on going straight, I would have driven up to the Selwo Zoo. And the Selwo Zoo is a safari park where obviously this place is called Selwo because of the Selwo Safari Park, but around that park there's loads of development going on with a lot of high-end development of apartments. You know, developments like Marine Hills, one of our high homes favorites, developments like Vanian Views, developments like Lebella, Australia, etc., etc. On the right hand side here is the new paddle tennis racket club with a nice cafe. It's got a very, very nice vibe. At the moment it's quite quiet. It's very recent and it's lovely. If you live in Selwo, here on the right hand side you have a small underpass to go under the road, and that's how you'd end up in Tikitano. So obviously if you live in any of these apartment complex, what you do if you're a local is you'd get your bicycle, you know, cycle down to the underpass which I just mentioned, you'd go under the A7, and then you're at the beautiful promenade of Tikitano, and from there you can connect either one way or the other, depending on what you want to do. If you take a right, you can walk into town, you can cycle into town. There's a few moments where it's disconnected, but generally speaking it's a lovely little walk or a lovely little evening adventure if you're with the kids or you're with family and friends, with a lot of like restaurants and cafes and chiringuitos scattered along the way. Okie dokie, we arrived at La Resina. La Resina Golf Club is what you see on the left, and let me show you guys what it looks like. Here we go. La Resina is a small golf course, one of the other golf courses of the new Golden Mile, among the many. And here you have loads of villas that surround the golf course, and you have some lovely apartment complexes. There we go. Here on the right hand side is like the mini clubhouse. You see all the golf carts outside, people having a small break, having a beer, whatever they're doing, and there you see the golf. We're going to drive you guys all the way to the top so you get a feel of what the compound looks like. And I really want to show you guys the new developments of Capri and Oasis 325 built by Kronos. Lovely complex of apartments to give you an idea of what's sort of going on in the area. Estepona has grown so much in the last few years. It's incredible to see how far it's come, especially when it comes to development and people that have come to the coast, invested. Also the business quality, the commercial quality. You can just see it just by the development of complexes which are being built. So that there is Oasis 325, one of the most popular developments of contemporary apartments in the new Golden Mile. And just over there is the first phase of Capri, which is a lovely development from the same developer that's looking over the valley of Selwo. These are all small little public parks that were done by the town hall. So right there is Capri, which actually we did a video on Capri, which we'll also link in this video. Okay, so on the topic of Estepona, obviously the new Golden Mile is part of the Estepona municipality. And recently we did a really fun interview with the Estepona mayor, Jose Maria Garcia Urbano. Among locals, this mayor is a bit of a legend. He took office in 2011, took over 350 million euros of public debt. He took over a town hall which was in a absolute chaotic situation, and he's developed it to what it is today. A municipality that, you know, has a surplus, hasn't got a debt, is investing in infrastructure, that welcomes, you know, investors, that is growing, got, you know, a striving international community, amazing business quality, an incredible center of Estepona, and incredible amenities. It's the rising star. We call it the rising star on the channel a few times. We talk about Estepona a lot. You know, we're big fans of Estepona. We're also big fans of other municipalities. I mean, we cover a bit of everything. We cover Mijas, we cover Estepona, we cover Malaga, we cover Benalmádena, Fuengirola. Fuengirola is a lovely area as well. But I think Estepona has done such a great job at growing, just simply growing and offering so much value to the people that come here to either spend holidays, invest, or whatever they do. Having said all that, I was lucky enough to interview the mayor of Estepona himself, and we did an entire interview which obviously it's in Spanish, but it's subtitled, and it was really fun. So we'll link the video with the mayor of Estepona just here. So if you wanna hear his story and hear how he built it all up and how he did the miracle of the rising star, you should definitely check that video out. So we're back at Bossa Cafe and we've nearly concluded our new Golden Mile drive-through. The plan now is to drive all the way to the beginning of Estepona and show you guys what the new Golden Mile looks like from that perspective. Then we're going to be turning around and showing you guys the beautiful area of Tiquitano. We're back on the new Golden Mile, we're back on the A7, we're driving direction Estepona. So let me tell you guys about what we're seeing here on the left hand side. This entire area, on the right hand side here, there's not really much going on after you pass Selwo. All this area is still very much underdeveloped. You've got a few pockets of urbanizations, but nothing as big as what we've seen with Selwo and Cancelada. This is what's really popular. This beachside location with a beautiful promenade, but here we have some amazing developments. To start off, you have Emare, and Emare is a unique development built by Erasur, a top luxury developer, where apartments beachfront, we'll put a few images of what they look like, fetch in excess of, maybe on average 4 or 5 million euros for a normal apartment, where luxury apartments or the bigger apartments in Emare fetch above the 8-9 million. They're really unique and got a unique style. Then you've got some other developments on the beach side as well, which are a bit older but really beautiful. A few like Bermuda Beach, among others. Okay, so as you can see, yes, in Spain, you can cycle on the main road, which is a bit of a nuisance. It's the time to talk about when the new Golden Mile comes to an end. And the new Golden Mile comes to an end when you see the Kempinski. The Kempinski Hotel, which you're going to be sort of seeing coming up on the left-hand side in a moment, is the landmark that lets you know that you're about to enter the Estepona center or city center. Before Kempinski, you have Laguna Village. And Laguna Village is this incredible beachfront commercial area that holds the Sublime Beach Club, restaurants, shops. It's really amazing. It's actually owned by the same group as the Pasha in Ibiza. And there you've got it. Here on the left hand side, that orange building is the Kempinski. And when you see this, you know that you've arrived at Estepona. Exit 1067. That's the exit we take to access Estepona. Estepona has 3 accesses, by the way. You have this one, which is the first access. Then you've got the access which is in the center where the stadium is, and that's normally the easiest one if you're trying to get into the center of town. This one takes a bit longer, but this would be the first exit or the first entrance to Estepona. A tip for you guys which are new to the Costa del Sol. Generally speaking, the way traffic flow works in Costa del Sol is that in the mornings, direction Gibraltar is busier, and then in the evenings after 6 o'clock, the direction towards Malaga is busier and has more traffic. The reason behind that is a lot of the workforce that works in Estepona, Marbella, even further in Casares, that workforce lives in Malaga. So what happens is that they normally travel to work, they commute to work from Malaga, and then that's why the roads are busier in the mornings. And then in the evenings or in the late afternoons when they finish work, they drive back to Malaga. And that's why the traffic flow or traffic is a bit heavier on the afternoons. It's a really good tip for you guys to, avoid traffic and understand rush hours in this part of Spain. So we're gonna take advantage of driving back to show you what the beach side of the new Golden Mile is all about. It's one of my favorite locations and it's absolutely beautiful. So we'll just speed it up and take you there directly. Let's go. So we're nearly there. We nearly arrived at Tikitano. We're back in Selwo. So practically, you know, on the beach side of Selwo is where the Tikitano or Cabo Bermejo beach is. I call it Tikitano because it's where the Tikitano restaurant is, but it's actually called the area of Torre Bermeja. It's got an ancient tower, and that's, you know, the actual name of the hotel, of the location. Here on the right hand side you have Las Dunas Hotel. It's a beautiful beachfront you know, resort, absolutely stunning. This is Cabo Bermejo. It's characterized by a few developments that surround the ancient tower. One development is called Cabo Bermejo and the other one is called Torre Bermejo. And it was built by a Scandinavian man that was, you know, a very famous developer in the area. And he did this incredible job. Like, this was built back in 2000 and, don't quote me on this, I think it's 2007. You see Cabo Bermejo on the right hand side and Torre Bermeja on the left hand side. They're called 5-star residential resorts because they're built, to that time they were built to the highest quality. And even today, they fetch an incredible resale value because it's amazing quality, superb security. Look how well maintained the gardens are. And there in the distance you'll see the ancient tower. We've filmed so much content in Tikitano and the area of Bermejo because it really showcases exactly what the new Golden Mile Beachside is all about. You know, that you can just see that beautiful shimmer, and it's a great lookout point to see Estepona and see everything, right? There you go, the bicycles are out, people are out. That's a perfect example of lifestyle. Right guys, so that's it. We decided to finish our drive through of the new Golden Mile here in Cabo Bermejo. One of the most amazing destinations, one of the most amazing parts of the promenade. This is what it's all about. You see these beautiful bicycles. This connects you all the way to Estepona, and this is a beach example of the beaches of the new Golden Mile. So that's it. That's a wrap of our drive-through. I hope that you guys enjoyed this content. I hope you enjoyed the video of what the new Golden Mile is all about. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment those below. And obviously, if you're new to the High Homes channel, don't be shy and subscribe to our High Homes channel so you guys can stay posted with the best of the best. Until the next time, guys, hasta luego.